By the way, I keep getting calls about this every day. People in the hallways that listen to the Joe Rogan podcast or watch it. It's an example of how the old media is dying. Joe's been doing his podcast for like 10 years. It's huge. Tens of millions of people a week watch it. And I've been friends with Joe since like 1998. Know him very, very well. Hung out with him countless times. He's gotten me tickets and gotten me into any UFC I wanted to see. He was a great guy. And he just keeps saying, I'm told his newest one is, Alex, why aren't you on the show? Why aren't you here? I'm calling you out. Come on the podcast. I don't know if it's a game or what's going on. I got 3 phone numbers for Joe Rogan. And I text message him, and he doesn't respond. And then when I come on the air and talk about it, he says, hey, I'm here. Come on whenever you want. We'll open the place up at 2 a.m. And then I text back and I say, okay, I'm planning to be out in L.A. in the middle of January, taking care of business. I'm ready to come on. Here's this week. No response. So I text him 5, 6 more times. I'll show you the text. He doesn't respond back and then says, where's Alex Jones? So I know he gets a lot of phone calls. He's got a lot of cell phones. People give out a cell phone all the time. He's having to get new ones. I'm sure it's lack of communication or something. But Joe, I've already got stuff going on now. And I got to go out to Florida, and I got to go to some other places, obviously, the next few weeks. But let's say in February, you name the time, Joe. This is how it works. Joe Rogan, you name the time, any day of the week, anytime you want. I'm on a plane to Los Angeles to come on your podcast. Boom, it's done. So the ball's in your court. Love you, Joe. Haven't seen Joe in about a year since he was here in town. I mean, I always interview him when he's here. Never been on his podcast. When I think for 10 years I get talked about on every podcast. So whatever. Joe's a real sweetheart. He's a super smart guy, host of UFC, movie star, host of Fear Factor, for that news radio. One of the top 5 comedians in the country. He sells out stadiums of 20,000 people routinely. 20,000. Okay, let's stop right there. He's about as big as Dave Chappelle. But again, he's been around so long and got big so slow. It's kind of like this broadcast. People still don't. I still have people on the street 5 or 6 times the last week ask me, are you still doing your show and what's your day job? And I'm like, yeah, I reach about 41 million people a week conservatively. I got a day job. I'm a wheat farmer.